Hey everybody, welcome. Thanks for pressing play. Well, we're back in the basement of the famous Billy the Artist, and we're here for part 2 of our explosive expose into Mr. T's Hoosow. So we got a lot of questions for Billy. We got some questions outstanding from our first interview, and of course we got some new stuff that's come up as well. So we're just gonna get rocking and rolling. Billy, yes.
How you doing, everybody?
I'm sure that they're doing great now that they're seeing you for a second time. So, Billy, you're a fucking star, man.
Yeah, I see. Let me just say something to the families of those who lost anyone. I'm really sorry. When I did all that, I didn't think at the time that I would be giving you false hope, that there was actually people out there. I believed in Maury Terry. I believed in the book. I really thought, hey, there's people out there. I did that just for my own personal gain, whatever, without thinking who I could hurt. So really, I'm definitely deep down sorry for your losses. And Dan, you don't have to apologize to me. I get it.
Well, who's Dan?
He wrote a thing on your thing last time.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, listen, man.
He'll know who he is.
All right, well, I'm sure everyone appreciates that. And of course, that's, at the time you said you were basically taking advantage of Maury for...
And he was taking advantage of me. I can't believe he was that stupid to believe all that shit. I mean, he was a total... Okay, boys and girls, today's word is durak, means idiot in Russian. And after durak is the word jopa, means asshole in Russian. He was a durak jopa, a stupid asshole, to believe all that shit.
So you're saying that you think he actually believed you?
Oh, maybe not. Maybe he just thought it was good fodder for the book, you know? For you people, for everyone out, for the morons, as you call them, to believe it, you know?
Well, I mean, listen, we fact-checked the shit out of you. You came up with some stuff in our first interview, Billy, that...
I know, I saw with the comics. That's awesome that you got that.
Yeah, I mean, and I got the pictures for you to react to
I guess
today.
You had some doubts, too, for you to do that.
Listen, I actually didn't have doubts because I could tell when someone's BSing me for the most part, and I could tell that you were either telling me the truth or you were lying to Maury, and I had already figured out or you were telling the truth to Maury, sorry. And I had already figured out by then that, like, Maury was the biggest Durak? Durak, Jopa.
Yeah.
And
a stupid asshole.
And a Hoosow artist a million times over. So I didn't need your testimony to prove that, but you were the cherry on top. And so what happened was a few of my close confidants were like, you gotta find these pictures. So I spent 2 days looking for these things.
Did you find the other one?
I have not found Ken, but we'll talk about Ken in a second.
And I didn't say Ken, he said Ken. He gave me the name Ken. He goes, there was a guy, Ken, and when I showed him the picture, he goes, that's Ken. I says, oh yeah, I said, I don't know his name. I said, talk like this, like, hey, pass me a bottle.
So now, this is the drawing that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And I scanned that up at Maury Terry's document place. I personally scanned that.
Okay.
And then, so what was interesting though is the second page, because it looks just like this guy.
A little bit, but he didn't show me that picture back then.
So he didn't show you this picture, and this drawing was not a drawing of the picture.
No.
But you see what I'm saying? Like that.
Yeah,
picture,
right. It looks a little like him, even with the suit and all that.
But clearly your picture is Jack Kirby inspired. Now, the deal with these pictures, again, is when did you draw them?
This one I drew in fucking social studies class. Well, instead of learning about the Magna Carta, I was doing this.
And so I have not yet found this picture. You said Jimmy Olsen's pals. But you also said Lois Lane crying for this one.
I thought it might have been.
Right. I mean, your memory's hazy from 50 years ago. Look at this.
I knew that one and another one. I thought these two were in the same comic. Actually, it was those two.
Right. And actually, a very veteran detective told me that the fact that you were hazy on this lends credence to your story because...
It says that in the book that I wasn't really sure.
Right. And also, you weren't reading off a script. So there we found it. It's a metis. And that came from Conan number 38.
Well, when we get to the old guy, you can tell me what the name was. I don't fucking... Do you remember it?
Yeah, that was Gimel.
Can you pronounce it?
Yeah, Gimel Ishbi.
Emil Ishbi?
Gimel Ishbi.
Okay, Gimel.
That's Gimel Ishbi from Conan 38. 1974. Now, what year in high school were you in 1974?
74 was 76, 75, 74. My not freshman,
Sophomore, junior
yeah,
year.
sophomore.
One of those years.
No, freshman. Yeah.
And so this, and then Maria, well, who Maury said was Suzette Maria from Untermyer Park, they were both from page 14 and 15 of Conan number 38. So we actually fact-checked you. You were 100% on the money. I just think we haven't...
I actually left out the earring on purpose.
Why?
I don't know, and I didn't do the rest of him like her.
Did you see page 2? Did you see the actual drawing?
Yeah, no, I know what it is. It's back in my memory. Yeah.
So now these drawings existed by...
Now, how could he believe that this was a real person? I mean, look at that shit. Someone did a thing and said it looked like Nosferatu, and it does. Now that you look at it,
right, and it also looks like Mr. Creepy from Creepy
a little
magazine.
bit, yeah.
But you know what? It's funny because in searching all these comic book archives, at that point in comic book history, there was a lot of bad guys who had this similar look. The pointy ears, the bald head.
If you think about it, he said, I secretly sketched. How do you secretly sketch someone? Now, if you're over there and I'm over here, hey, look at that. Hey, look at that. How do you secretly sketch someone without them seeing you? Now, if you're there with these fucking hair, who's that look like? I just did that out of my head. You got boards on your floor? Is that what these things are?
That's, wait, lift it up a little because it's a shadow. Yeah, there we go. That's, that's my,
That's your house.
yeah, that's my desk.
I just did it like quick.
That's funny as hell, man.
I didn't get you too good, though.
You got to get me that. No, he said that you went home and you sketched them from memory.
All right. I can't do that. As you see, look how bad you look.
You need to look at. You're the kind of
That's
person.
what I told him. So,
but
yeah, I need to look at shit. My memory's a little hazy.
Right. So you need to, as an artist, you actually need to be sketching from a drawing.
I mean, I could do shit, but for faces and shit like that,
So
it's easier to look at it.
For something as detailed as this,
I'd have to look at it. Yeah.
All right. So that then shows also, in addition to the fact that we found the freaking comic books.
I'm glad you did.
That's airtight shit. So it's not even an issue at this point that your story was accurate. We're not concerned about any of this stuff. People still think that this guy Ken was actually in Untermyer Park. Was this dude? Did you ever meet a dude like this?
No.
So Maury just seemed to want to eat this stuff up.
He heard what he could use, I guess. He heard shit that he could wiggle into his story, and weave into the fucking.
And he never once pressed you on this, saying, "Are you telling me the truth?"
No, he never did. He never did. He says he just believed me. When he showed me the 10 pictures of people, I just picked out 8 guys. I just went by luck, and he could have been lying to me, saying, "Wow, all these people were there." I don't fucking know.
Right.
He could have been bullshitting me. A lot of Hoosow.
Did he? How many times did you hang out with Maury? What was the first time you met him?
The first time I met him, he picked me up. He came and met me, and I met him like a block or 2 away from my house. I didn't want him to know where I lived. And actually, I tried to get him again for some money, like after that, but he wouldn't bite. I says, I see people going through my garbage. I says, maybe it's the cult. But he didn't bite. He says, maybe it's just people looking for cans. I says, no. I says, they were digging through papers. They were pulling papers out. What do I do? Could I get police protection? But he didn't bite.
Interesting. So that means he had to have had some element of.
He knew I was bullshitting at that point, probably.
And he
probably knew I was bullshitting from the get-go.
Right, but he apparently had a story to tell, and you know what's also believable?
I mean, if you think about it, he could have followed that up. Billy the artist is being followed. They're after him. They're going through his garbage. They know where he lives.
Right.
Maybe we should put him in a safe house. He could. Like I said, he's a durak.
The MO that he used with you is believable because it was the same shit he did with Berkowitz. He's on record. And
did you ever speak with Berkowitz?
I have not yet spoken
I thought
with
you
Berkowitz.
did.
I'm hoping to. I'm hoping to get in a
I don't know why he could. Why would he at first admit all that shit?
Because Maury was paying him off, just like he paid you
Oh,
off.
you think so?
I don't think so. I know so. I have all the
He was,
letters.
sending money to the mother and
Sending money to the
sister?
father. He was sending money to the father. He was giving money directly to Berkowitz for prison commissary. He was helping Berkowitz's Christian friends, sending Bibles all over the world. Yeah, he was, and he was also working with, a lot of people don't know this, I haven't done a show on it, but he was psychologically manipulating Berkowitz by promising him that he could help him get parole too.
Really?
Yeah, so.
You also mentioned that he worked with Carl Denaro?
Who, Maury?
Yeah.
Well, Carl Denaro.
On the case? You mean afterwards or before?
Carl Denaro was a guy who believed 100% in Maury Terry, and he was like Maury Terry's helper in the investigation.
Okay.
But in Carl Denaro's own book, he says Maury Terry lied to him.
Oh, he knows.
Deceived
Okay,
him.
right.
Well, I don't know what he knows, because even though he said it, he's still on the Maury train. And Carl,
Really?
yeah, and Carl and I don't get along. Because of this, he still thinks Maury was telling the truth and that I'm full of shit. And
Really?
even though you now have blown this.
Maury's the liar, Carl, in case you're watching. In case you're out there.
So there's one other issue here. Now that we've cleared up and we've shown you these 3 drawings, and you know what? Just keep them for fun. You could have them and you can keep on looking at them if anything comes up in our interview that you want to talk about. But one thing before we get to the new stuff that people are still a little bit confused about is this whole issue of the funeral and wake.
Okay.
Now, do you know, can you remember where, did you go to an actual funeral or did you go to
No, I went to an actual funeral. He was laid out in the coffin. People, mourners crying. There was a real funeral home in Yonkers somewhere. I think it was on Yonkers Avenue, if I'm not mistaken.
Because he said that it was this funeral in Rye, New York.
No, it wasn't in Rye. It was in Yonkers.
Were you at this event?
Oh, this
here?
is the church, maybe.
That's in Rye, New York.
Up in Rye. I didn't go to the church. I went to the...
So you went to the wake?
viewing, the wake, yeah.
Okay,
yeah. I went to the wake.
Because he has
church.
in the book that you went to the funeral.
He's fucking pretty stupid.
So you were not at this event where
No.
he's taking these photos?
No.
So
Why would they go to a church if he's a devil worshiper?
Well,
if you think about it.
That's actually my next question. Did you notice?
At the wake, you could think, like, you know, there's no signs of a church or nothing. But I can't see these evil people going in here, which is another debunk of Maury.
Well, exactly. But another thing that I wanted to ask you about was, do you remember at this wake?
The guy's name?
Well, I'll ask you
I didn't pay attention.
Okay, but do you remember any decorations? Do you remember what the roses were like?
No, I read that they were black. They were purple and black.
Did you
But
read
that's-
that, or did you see that?
I read that, but that's a normal thing. That's a mourning thing. A friend of mine died, and when I used to live in his store. He had a thrift shop. I was homeless, and he let me live in the thrift shop. Actually, you know, sleeping there at night. I helped him out in the day, sold shit for him, did shit, you know. And when he died, his family put up purple and black, whatever, orchids or whatever the fuck they was. You're the gardener.
I mean, purple and black orchids, they exist. Well, I don't know if black
And
exists.
I says, why? What are these? Oh, those are mourning colors.
Purple and black are mourning color. But did you actually see any purple and black that you remember?
I didn't notice.
What about any Celtic crosses?
I wasn't. No, I didn't notice that. I didn't notice an upside down cross on them either. I just wanted to get out of there, man. If these people were killers, I didn't want to fucking hang around.
So you actually
At that point, I believed Maury.
Right.
You know, it wasn't until I ran into you that, like, hey, you know, something's not right here.
Right. Now, for the record, because people are now accusing me of setting this up, and that why didn't Gary remember that he knew you, and that you're not really Billy. Can you just go through, like, for the audience's sake?
Gary was astounded when I called him. I saw Gary's name on your thing, that he was a member in your cult, right? And I said, holy shit! And I sent him I don't know how I got his number. Oh yeah, I friended him on Facebook, and he sent me the number. And me, I'm a durak. I don't know how to fucking pull up shit, right? So I wrote it on a. I do puzzles to relax.
Right.
As you can see, I'm pretty high strung. So I wrote his number on one of my puzzle books on the cover. Whenever I need to call Gary, I don't look in the phone. I just pick up the puzzle book, and I called him, and I said, "Hey man, I see you're in this Son of Sam thing. He says, yeah. I said, did you read that book? He says, yeah, of course. I says, did you remember the part about the artist? It totally, he was like silent for a second. He goes, yeah, why? I says, that's me. He was like.
So you brought it up first.
I brought it up. I told him, yeah, he didn't know. I guess maybe he didn't recognize me. Maybe the disguise worked on fucking the thing with Maury and the thing with Sarah Wallace.
Right. Well, he also said that he lost touch with you in 1982. So you weren't talking to him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the thing wasn't on till 90-something, 96, right. 97.
Do you remember what year it was that you first met Maury?
That I first met Maury?
Yeah,
it was when they were doing the 20-year anniversary.
So it'd be 70,
97.
So 96, 97.
96, 97, one of them two.
Okay. And so Gary and you were not talking during this period of 96, 97.
I mean, through no fault of our own, we just lost touch.
Right. Well, it's just totally normal. I have friends that I haven't seen.
I have friends of mine I haven't seen. And now they all know where I am on Facebook. I should have never done that. They fucking call... They call me like all the time, man. You know, usually like when I'm doing something or when I'm busy, like a fucking plunging a toilet. I'm like, fuck. You know, something like that. Or, you know, or I'm pleasuring myself, so to speak. Yeah, I do that. I'm sick. I need help. All right? All right? You guys out there, don't judge me.
So now getting back to Untermyer Park, again, because there's people saying that you saw Ken there, this guy Ken.
No. The only people I really remember was Eggs, because we hung out and smoked. You know, we got drunk and high together. He was a fun guy. Like I said, man, he had nothing to do with these fucking.
But did you actually see or just hear about cultic activity?
I didn't see any of it, but I heard stories about it. Everybody heard stories about it. I actually asked them. They said none of them said they seen it. They said something about there was dead dogs, right. But none of them said anything that they seen fucking hooded people. Might have been Klansmen.
Right.
But they seen fucking hooded people. You know, there's a lot, like, according to our president, there's a lot of white supremacists out there. Maybe it was them. You fucking idiot, Biden. Joe Bite Me. Did you watch him last? Don't even start me on that.
I can't watch this bullshit anymore. It's so.
I don't watch TV.
Yeah.
Because I too many times I've fucking thrown shit to TV.
It's just so beyond. So all right. So for the record again, because I just want to make sure that the morons understand this. You did not see occultic activity or cult members or Son of Sam people or anybody saying Son of Sam.
Nothing of the kind.
Okay. All right. And again, those drawings that I showed you, we have already proven that.
Yeah, that was me. They were from comics.
They were comics.
They were done 20 years earlier.
Well,
but
right,
Maury
exactly.
said that he had checked them. He says before we met like twice. First time I think I went downtown and met him, okay. And then that's when I brought him the pictures of these people. We talked about them, and he says I have to check these to see if they're really from that period. And supposedly he checked, and they were like from fucking 75, 76,
right?
And shit. So that fit. That's why I took those. I had hundreds of pictures, but these were done during that time, so it fit.
Right.
You know?
Well, I mean, to be fair to Maury, it was impossible to search comic book archives in the 90s.
Back then, yeah, there was no...
Because it wasn't online. Yeah. But at the same time, do you think he should have been more careful about...
I was really surprised when he put these things, like when pictures were on TV or in his books and shit. I didn't see the revamped issue, right? Those were in the book?
He showed those in the documentary.
Oh, okay.
That you were in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't think I seen that whole documentary. I only seen the thing that I was in with Sarah Wallace on Channel 7 News.
That's in it. He shows the picture of Ken, quote, Ken to Berkowitz.
Really?
And then Berkowitz says, yeah, that was Ken.
I don't remember. I might have been talking to my brother who was really pissed off at me.
Right. I mean, at that point, I have letters from Berkowitz to Maury Terry in that same exact period saying to Maury, like, yo, you're obsessed with this.
And then after Maury checked them out, then he got back in touch with me and wanted to go up to Untermyer. And he says, and that's when he introduced me to Sarah Wallace when we got up there. Actually, she drove me up to Untermyer. Sarah Wallace, you know, she's a lot better looking in person, man. I mean, she was hot. TV don't do her justice. It's just a little bitty thing, though.
I actually messaged her. I sent her the video, but she hasn't gotten back
Really?
to me. I figured she'd be interested, but she
Yeah,
hasn't.
Sarah Wallace is a great person.
She
man.
hasn't replied.
Well, someone cut her off, man. She screamed. She cursed him like worse than me, like a sailor.
Really?
Yeah, but but she was good people.
Now, do you remember for sure the name of the detective who Maury was with?
Yeah, that was Murphy.
You positive about
Definitely
that?
Positive. I remember
Now, I want
Murphy.
to name a guy here because there's also a second story that you were with a PD detective by the name of Don Mounts. Does that name sound familiar?
Might have been. I don't know. I met with Kevin Murphy. He's not the one who took me to the funeral. 2 other guys did. He might have been one of those. I don't really pay attention to.
Okay, because in our last interview, you said it was Murphy, but I'm the one that gave you the name, so you might...
Yeah, no. It was definitely Murphy. I remember from the card.
Okay.
Or maybe he was with the other guy. There was 2. I don't know. I don't fucking remember.
So
I don't know. I met Murphy
memory.
along the way.
Do you remember what Murphy looked like?
No, he was short. He was a nice guy. I don't know. I don't fucking remember him.
All right. So...
But I did meet him.
So you definitely were not at this...
At the church? No.
At this funeral here. This is the funeral, but you were at the wake.
At the wake, yeah.
All right. So then Maury lied about that because he said that you were at the funeral. He said
Well, maybe he thought about it like me. I didn't put 1 and 1 together.
Right.
That there's a separate thing called a funeral and a separate thing called a wake.
Right. All right, cool. So we got that out of the way. And again, when I found those pictures in the comic books, I was like blown away because it proved that you were telling us the truth.
There's no reason to lie now.
And the story makes...
Unless you want to pay me to. No.
And the story, and then, believe me, people are going to say, oh, man, he's paid.
No, hey, for you doubters, he didn't give me nothing.
People are going to go, man, he's paid.
No.
But let me tell you something. We're learning a deep history of Mr. T's Hoosow.
Yeah.
So...
Nah, he didn't give me nothing.
So there's a few...
And I didn't even try, so...
No, and I wouldn't have
I'm
anyway.
sure if I put my mind to it, I could have finagled something out of him.
No, actually you couldn't because I don't play like Maury.
Nah.
But listen, there's a couple new things that have come up that and hopefully we're going to get you up at Untermyer Park once the weather breaks. But one of the main...
It's gotta be hot so I could jump in the fucking thing.
Yo, if you jump in there,
I can't do that anymore, man. I'm fucked up. I got vertigo. If I tried to dive in a pool, man, I'll be dizzy underwater and drown.
If you go up to the eagle's nest, they have railings on it now, so you won't fall over.
Yeah, no, I'm all right walking up steps, But...
Now, before we get into, because I'm actually interested in you as a person, and one of the things that I learned about you is that you were a bass player in a heavy metal band.
A couple of them.
What was that all about? When did you start playing bass?
Oh shit! Back in high school, we made a promise to ourselves that when we became rich and famous, we would come back to the high school and do a benefit for them. Mm-hmm. We weren't rich and famous, but we were pretty well known in the area, in the tri-state area, and we went to the high school. Man, we made a couple of $1,000s for them. We did our benefit.
What was the name of the band?
That band was Shell Shock.
Shell Shock.
Yeah.
And what other bands were you in?
I was in 3 bands, coincidentally, all started with an S. Shell Shock, Snake Eyes, and Sinful. Now I'm actually playing on the album that Sinful put out. I was with them in the studio, but I left them before they went. They wanted to go to fucking Boston to take pictures. I mean, this is New York, man. Why go to Boston for a fucking picture? I'm like, I'm not fucking driving to Boston. Are you crazy? And I quit. I said, fuck it. I didn't know that they were going to use my playing on the fucking record without even attributing it to me. And I know it's my playing because I fucked up on one of the songs and it was on there. I know it was me.
And you don't have your basses anymore? Because I'd love to see them.
No, I lost them in a fire. My house burned down.
Oh, man.
Like 3 blocks away. I lost everything I owned. My comics.
Yo, I'm going to buy you a... I said I'm going to buy you, but...
Uh-oh! We got him now, folks!
When all this is over, I'm going to buy you a issue 38 of Conan, because that's where all your shit came from. So there's...
You know something? Try calling the comic stores and seeing if they have issue 38. And I bet you all your fans out here want that issue. And see if there was a run on that.
I bet you that there
I
is
bet
a
he
wrong-
goes, you know, you're the third person today calling about this fucking issue.
Now people could get them on eBay now. So, but seriously, that issue is I definitely want a copy. So now there's a couple new things that have come up, Billy, and Billy the artist in the motherfucking house. That's all I gotta say. So a dude from Maury Terry's old Facebook page, because Maury Terry had this official Facebook page where he was the king of the court, and you know he also went by a fake name too, named Trudy Zeke. So Maury Terry would put up a post, and then Trudy Zeke would answer it.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
He would answer himself
He would-
like? No shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty low, man. That's pretty fucked up.
He would use himself to confirm his own details.
Really?
Yeah, I did a whole show on it, and it was really kind of fucked up and mentally unbalanced in a way. But he did several posts on that. This is going into the 2000s, so he was still invoking your name to prove even more members
Really?
were at Untermyer Park, and I have the pictures. We're not going to bother going through the posts. I'm going to do that on my live stream.
Uh-huh.
But I just want you in real time to take a look at these three different drawings that he said were attributed by name to you. And here's the first one for everybody to see, and I'm going to put it up on the camera. You just take a look, and I haven't shown you these before.
No, this wasn't me. This wasn't me at all. Come on, man. That looks like a kid drew them.
So you did not do this one of this guy
No.
named Frank Signorelli.
No.
All right.
Signorelli.
Did you ever meet a guy named Frank Signorelli?
No,
at
I never
Untermyer
met
Park?
him.
All right. So you're saying,
This is supposed to be him too?
yeah, they're both supposed to be him.
No,
So you didn't draw that?
I didn't draw that.
Okay. Because Maury Terry said by name that you drew those.
I guess Maury Terry's not the most truthful person in the world either.
All right. So here's the next one.
That is definitely not me.
You're supposed to look at it first. But I guess you saw it.
I've seen this.
You saw it. All
Nah.
right. So this is a guy, he says his name was Jeff.
This wasn't Eggs.
So Eggs was named Jeff?
Yeah, it's Jeff Eggs. Jeff Fried Eggs, they called him. Him I remember. He's the only one I really remember. And Sunshine. Huh?
How did he turn Sunshine and Eggs, people who you told him about, how did he turn
Turn
those
them into cult members?
Yeah.
Because he had a fucking name of someone who was there. So these poor people, you know, for all we know, someone fucking got in touch with these people, said, "Your Eggs?" You know, he could have, actually, thanks to me, could have caused a lot of trouble for them.
Yeah, because he uses your name.
But
and
I
his-
guess by the time Maury found all that shit out, I mean, they were grown up. I mean, I met them, we were all teenagers. We were all like 18, 19 years old.
Well, in his witness list, he said he never even contacted any of them. He just puts them in.
And you believe him?
Well,
He's so believable?
I don't, but I'm just
I'm
saying.
sure if he did, he would have put them in. But maybe he did and they had nothing to do with it, so he figured it didn't fucking matter.
I think he was just using your information to like really.
Yeah.
Right. So this you're saying 100% is not
No,
you.
no.
And if you look at it, it's stylistically. Give me the picture of the old man, or any of them. It doesn't matter which one. If you look at these stylistically, they look nothing like.
Well, then I had something to copy from. But if he gave me that picture, and that's the fucking picture I drew of him, no.
All right, so you're saying that was absolutely not him, because he's saying these are actual Son of Sam cult members. This guy Jeff went to a dog kennel with.
This
David.
guy's name was Jeff? Well,
I don't even
that's
know
what
who
he
the fuck
called
this.
him.
I don't even know who this guy
It's
is.
not
picture.
Eggs.
Right. All right. So we don't even know who this guy is. He's saying that this guy hung out with Berkowitz and they went and bought a dog together or looked for a German Shepherd.
I don't know. According to his book, someone went with him to get the German Shepherd. I don't remember the name.
He said it was Jeff, and he never gave a last name. So did you ever see this guy in Untermyer?
No.
And you didn't draw this? All right. Fair enough. All right. So we now have 2 out of the 3 here that you unequivocally, and say it again for the camera.
It wasn't me, folks.
All right. Now, this one right
That's
here.
my drawing.
He's saying that this guy.
All right. I had a shirt with this creature here. Yeah, and I put together all kinds of things. That's me. This was me. Because I had a shirt with this fucking monster in the back. This here was from a Sabbath album. I think from...
Paranoid.
But no. This is from Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
The thing is like this, if I'm not mistaken. This is Paranoid. Oh, he came out all right. And this guy's from Paranoid.
Right. And I have that album
This
cover.
here was from a shirt, and it had these kind of letters on the shirt.
Uh-huh.
And so I just put the three together, to make like a conglomerate of Black Sabbath. What did he say about this? He says that this was drawn there, or what?
He says, and I'm going to show this in the live stream, he made a whole elaborate story
Of this?
about this.
Really?
He said that this was a guy named Pete Perez who hung out at Untermyer.
Who, this guy? It's the fucking Sabbath. Oh, man. To be honest with you, I don't even remember giving him this.
But you're saying you drew that?
Oh, it's definitely me.
Okay.
It's definitely me.
All right, well, that just shows that your memory is a little fried.
Yeah, I remember drawing it.
Right.
I remember all the drawings, although I don't know what the fuck that is.
Did you do
this? Oh,
this
that's from your sheet you put over
the sheet
it?
I put over it, right. Because I scanned that up at the place where I got movie
Yeah, I
stars.
remember the picture. I didn't draw this up there anywhere.
Now, when did you draw that?
Probably during Mr. Fortin's fucking Mr. Grubman's economic class.
So this is an so this is an old picture too.
Yeah, I had the shirt on and I was like this, drawing it from the shirt. This guy. This here I put in at home when I got back, and the fucking Paranoid guy. But this monster I did in Mr. Grubman's class.
So he has this whole elaborate tale about how this is Pete Perez from the Cult of Son of Sam.
No.
Did you ever meet a guy named Pete?
No,
Perez?
you asked me this. I met a Pete, but he wasn't Perez. He wasn't Spanish.
He wasn't Spanish.
He lived here. I drove him home from Untermyer a couple of times. He lived over by Frisbee Avenue, over that way.
Right. There's a Frisbee Avenue?
Yeah.
How's it spelled? Not like with a
Frisby.
B-Y.
Yeah, Frisbee.
Okay, Frisbee. Interesting.
It's on Washington Square.
All right,
Not Washington Square.
Westchester Square.
Westchester Square.
So we got the answers we want. Not that we want, but that we wanted to get. We wanted to ask you. I said that wrong.
Yeah.
We got the answers that we wanted to ask you about. And so, all right. So this is a period piece from the 70s. Was it drawn around the same time as the other drawings?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would say.
But
if
you
I
don't-
was drawing them in school.
But you don't actually remember giving this to Maury.
I don't. I really don't.
But you must have, because he had it.
I guess I did. He had it.
Right. So that basically answers the questions. I mean, I don't want to keep you
I had
here
them all
forever.
in my school book, like one of these jobs. I had them all in my notebook from school.
It's too bad that you don't have any of these originals, or you don't have anything.
I wish I did, man. I had all my teachers' faces because I used to sit there and draw them. And then what I used to do was the classrooms had on the sides where the door, there was a door here, and then up on top, right, there was windows, like a row of windows here, a row of windows there. And I used to take the pictures of them and go when other kids was in the class, and I would jump up and down at the windows like this, and you'd hear all the kids start laughing, and you'd hear the teacher yell. He knew. He'd go, Billy, stop that, and he'd open the door and he'd say, hey, Billy, come on, I knew it was you, because I showed them. I said, hey, Mr. Fortin, look at this, and he's like, come on.
Now,
so then,
go ahead.
So then I'd go to Mr. Fortin's next class, and I'd do this, jump up and down. It was hilarious, man.
Keep this, because I want to rack your brain on this photo. Well, you're going to keep it, but I want you to look at it like, all right. So in our first interview, you got the name of the comic book wrong. It's no big deal, because we actually found the drawings. It wasn't Lois Lane crying. It was actually a Midas. And it was Gimel Ishbi from issue 38 of Conan. You're allowed
You
to...
actually read the book, didn't you?
I'm obsessed with this stuff.
Really?
So your story totally checked out. Now, I've been racking my brain. I've been spending a lot of time. You said this was Jimmy Olsen in disguise.
I know it's from a Superman book. I don't know if it's from... I'm pretty sure it was Jimmy Olsen, Superman's friend Jimmy Olsen, from one of those. but it.
Because I can't find it for the life of me. Not that I think that this is.
I was looking through the covers to see if I recognized the cover, and I didn't. And then after 74 or so, they changed the way it was written on the front. Instead of like a small thing that said Jimmy Olsen and one thing, it had it like this: Jimmy Olsen in big bolder letters, different kind of lettering. You'll see if you go check it out. Yeah, it wasn't one of those. So,
because I'm just trying to figure out, is this from any other Jack Kirby comic book that you might remember? What were some of the other?
I didn't really read any DC comics, which is weird that I had one to draw this from. Right. But I remember it was a fucking Jimmy Olsen. That I remember. I remember having a Jimmy Olsen. I might have found it in school in the desk or some shit. Right. Because that's when I did it in school. And I don't fucking read Superman, Jimmy Olsen. I didn't have any. I didn't have any DC comics. I'm a Marvel guy.
I'm a Marvel guy too. You know. But it definitely is stylistically in the Jack Kirby vein. And so I'm just trying to figure out if there's any other Jack Kirby titles that you read or that you collected, that you drew from. No. Because listen, 2 out of 3 is great, and I want to take it, but I would love to find that drawing.
So would I.
And but again, was there a Ken at Untermyer Park?
Not that I know of.
Was there ever a guy who was hollering at Maria and making her cry?
No. There was no Maria either.
So
it was Ahmed Gimel making her, whatever the fuck Gimel his name is. Ishbi. He was making her cry.
So, all right, cool. So basically, I think we got what we wanted to do today done. I know you're a busy guy. You got some work to do today. Is there anything that I didn't touch on today that you want to tell the crowd? Your relationship with Maury, your thoughts on Maury, how many times did you see him? What was the last time you saw him? Anything with
I only seen him when we filmed that shit. After that, after he gave me the money, I never seen him again.
And you never spoke to him again?
No, like I said, I tried to get in touch with him, but he didn't call me back. I left a number for him to get me.
Because he was invoking your name as deep into like 2010.
Really?
Using your name with these
kind of flattered, but.
Yeah, he was saying that Billy the artist, he was making up stories about it.
I'm surprised he didn't get in touch with me for the next go-round. Which makes you think that if he thought that I really had anything to do with it and knew these fucking people, wouldn't he get in touch with me again and again and again and again?
That's a good point that I never thought of.
See, he's a durak. Which, if you're tuning in late, folks, durak means idiot in Russian. And the second part of that is jopa, which means asshole in Russian and Ukrainian.
Well, Billy, I think we're going to leave it there. And I'm hoping that our next time that we're together is actually on location, bringing Billy the artist back to the scene of the crime, Untermyer Park. But I want to outro on that.
Let's go in the day when the sun is out so I can take a dip.
Oh my God, if you went in there, they would flip out. You know, that
they
place
probably would. So I know it's tighter than before.
Oh, it's
there was no one around when we went there. I couldn't believe it, man. It's beautiful fucking garden. Nice.
Do me a favor. I want to see that picture you drew of me because that's what I want to fade out on.
Hey, next time, I don't know when the next time will be, but the next time you come, there's a big blank space. And I whited it out in my wall. I'm doing this in my living room.
Oh shit! Cool.
Yeah.
Nice colors. I like those. That's very Wolverine. That's Wolverine 1970s type colors.
That's a Moorish idol.
So you're into fish?
Oh, I'm a fish fanatic. Yeah.
I like that.
I used to work in fish stores and shit.
Really?
I used to manage a pet land.
That's awesome.
I got fired for stealing.
All right, so
my drug dealer used to come and pick me up. That's how much shit I was buying from him.
Really?
Yeah, and the store was in fucking New Rochelle, and he'd come and pick me up at work.
With Maury Terry's money?
No, with Petland's money. I did this on a truck.
I like that.
If you go by Allerton and White Plains, the truck is there.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah,
so where's that one you did of me?
It don't really look like you though.
I know, but I'm still flattered and I'm still getting a kick out of it, and I wanna outro on that.
That's kind of your house. I did this quick from memory.
Yeah, totally. So anyway, I'm gonna say goodbye to the audience.
What are these things?
They
look like boards on the floor.
I have, tatami mats, the Japanese tatami mats.
Okay.
We put those on the floor to keep the vibrations down from to our neighbors.
I'm sorry. Why, your neighbors bitch about it?
Nah, we just like to be.
How loud could you be?
Keep that open. Keep that open.
Hey, want to borrow that? That'll make your fucking neighbors.
My upstairs neighbors are assholes.
Oh God.
Let me see that again. All right, cool. Keep that open. So anyway, we're gonna say goodbye.
It don't really. I could do better, folks.
Yeah, maybe we'll get that done. So everyone, I hope that this second interview answered some questions from the first interview, the famous first explosive Billy the Artist, and of course today we followed up with more of Mr. T's Hoosow. So keep that up because I want to outro on it. So anyway, hopefully the next time we see Billy, we'll be at Untermyer Park. And Billy, I want to say thank you very much for once again being with us. And we are going to say goodbye.